call, and we are going to have a great experience together. That's what I declare. All right, let's go ahead and let's start with some energy work. First thing this morning. So if you are in a place where you can close your eyes, you can kind of lean back and relax for just a minute, let's do that. And if not, that's fine too. And for those of you who are watching the replay, just want to remind you that even though you're not here live, the energy work I do is just as potent and just as powerful listening to it on a recording as it is live. There really isn't any difference to it other than the fact that you're not live. But if you're present, just when you feel the need to take a deep breath, then take a deep breath. Definitely sip on some water. I feel like we're going to be moving quite a bit of energy in the next few minutes, and that's always a wonderful thing. And so also, I do energy work for the group as a whole. And so if you want something specifically moved for you or cleared out for you, you're welcome to raise your hand when it's time to raise your hand and request that with your question. I'm always happy to do individual things. But the way my method works, which is called energetic connections, it allows for borrowed benefits. And so if I'm working on somebody in particular, in fact, I had a request, someone's in a lot of resistance around a program. And so we're going to help move that resistance, give new meaning. And if you find that you're in some resistance in some part of your life as well, and your spirit or your energy is like, hey, I could use that, like you get the benefit of that as well. And so even if I might be working directly with one person, if you're in there listening, then it works for you too if it's something that you need. Also, energy work is never trumps your agency. And so if you're not wanting to accept it, if you only want part of it but not all of it, then that is fine too. So just because I'm doing energy work on you does not mean that now you have to change the way you think, or now you have to change the way you are, or any of that. It's very respectful of that very, very sacred, precious gift of agency. So it will never, ever trump agency. And it also works remotely. It's why we can have a group here. It's also why if you're like, oh, I'm concerned about my kids, or I'm concerned about a friend or whatever, even if you're thinking about them and they could use help, it's called remote work or proxy work, then it will work for them as well. And a lot of times I'll have people, like, I call it piggybacking. Like when I'm working on somebody, I'll be like, holy cow, there's a lot of people here. Oh, I can feel your husband, I can feel your kids. Oh yeah, they're all wanting to get in on this. And so it's really fun. It's so powerful. And that's the beauty of energy. There's nothing magical about it. Energy is not bound by space or time. Energy can't be created or destroyed. It merely changes forms. And so when we are clearing those lower vibrations of energy, what we're literally doing is making way for me to then install those higher vibrations. And then it's much easier for you to live, and I hate to say maintain or sustain, because then it makes us think that we have to hold the vibration, which then, I don't know about you, but then always I think, what if I drop it, right? And so it just makes it easier to just step into that higher vibration of energy and to let that fill your body and your soul, and for you to live on that level. And the way that we do that is by working on our mindset as well. So, they're all interconnected. It's why I call it energetic connections. All right, so a long explanation before after I told you to close your eyes and get comfortable, but felt like that would be useful for some people to hear. So, all right, let's begin, shall we? So I just want you just to take a nice deep breath. And however you want to breathe deep is perfect for you. You can sit up, you can lie down, you can breathe in through your nose or out in through your mouth. It doesn't matter. Eyes open, eyes closed, whatever serves you best for right where you are. But let's get you present right here in this moment. Oh, it feels like some of you are out in the clouds, and I just like brought you back into your body and boom, back onto the earth, which is wonderful because this is where we're meant to be. Some of you are not feeling safe right now, and certainly understandable. There's a lot of noise, a lot of things going on outside right now. And so let's get you just feeling safe and grounded and welcome and like you belong. This is root chakra energy that I'm working with right now. And root chakra is right at the base of your spine. It's in your pelvic area. This has to do with our sense of belonging. It has to do with us being here on the earth. It also has a lot to do with social relationships, family relationships as well. And it feels like there's some stickiness going on just a little bit. So take a breath and we're just going to clear that energy. It feels like there is, it feels like residual pain that I'm not to move out of the root chakra yet. So this is with relationships, with family, with friends. And it feels like there's some residual pain from different relationships, but it feels kind of old and stagnant to me. And so okay, so this is what we're going to do. First of all, we're going to clear the energy, and then I'm going to explain what I see in my mind and how this works, particularly with forgiveness, forgiving yourself, forgiving others that were involved in this situation, and how tapping into that very, very powerful energy of forgiveness is one of the most beautiful self-serving things that we do. It really is for us. It's not for the other person. So first we're going to clear any of that energy that still needs to be cleared. Sometimes we feel like it's cleared and then something will pop into our mind which triggers us again, like, oh, it comes out of nowhere. So we just know there's some fragmented pieces that are still hanging on. That's kind of what this feels like to me in your root chakra and in your aura, a couple of layers in. So we're just going to get that out of the way. And if something comes to your mind instantly, then that's more than likely what it is. If nothing comes to your mind, then that's fine too. But I want you to think about if you were to ever get cut on your arm, and for a while it stings, right? When we clean it, it stings. We put that salve on it, we put a Band-Aid on it, or we wrap it, and then we let the healing process happen. And it itches when we heal, as it's healing, and it is annoying as it heals, but eventually it heals over and you have a scar. And you look at that scar and it reminds you of what happened, but there isn't any pain with it. It's just the scar. And when we are moving out that painful energy of relationships or any way that you felt hurt or betrayed, when we get all of that stinging energy out, we end up looking at that scar and we remember what it was. But instead of taking the sting, the energetic sting with us, or the energetic pain still with us, all we take is the lessons that we've learned. And remember, the lessons that we learn here are not to be punitive. They're not to be like, you need to learn a lesson. All right. It's all about your growth, and it's all about love. Everything that God does and that the universe does is always in your behalf, and it's for your greatest good. And so when we can take the beautiful lessons that we learned about, oh, this taught me to have stronger boundaries. Oh, this taught me how important it is to use my voice and to speak my truth. Oh, this taught me what I will no longer tolerate in a relationship. Really beautiful lessons and nuggets of wisdom that we learn from those painful experiences. And too often, because we live in this world where there is so much hurt and so much pain, we forget the lessons, and we carry the pain with us long after the situation is over. I mean, years and decades, some people will carry this pain. And so if you feel that you're ready to let that go and just to take the gifts that were meant for you, then take a deep breath, and we're just going to let that go. All right, can we move to Tracy's question? Okay, great. So we're going to move into the whole idea of resistance. And we're going to talk a little bit today in our training about letting go of mental resistance. And so when we're in resistance, it's because we're in a story that isn't serving us. Anytime we're in the how and we're entangled up in the how, we're in resistance. And anytime that we're like I said, we're in a story that doesn't serve us, it kicks up a whole bunch of resistance. And so we tend to move into self-sabotage when we're in resistance. And we can see it intellectually. Yes, I need to eat healthy. I want to eat healthy. I'm so tired of eating healthy. I see this chocolate cake. I want the chocolate cake. And we're in this like conflict, right? We're in this resistance of that thing that we know is going to be good for us. We know will help to move us forward. But we create this story that it's too hard, or I'm not doing it for the right reasons, or it's just for somebody else, or whatever it is, that story that runs around that thing that we're feeling resistance around. It's actually a really simple yet genius way that our subconscious has to keep us in status quo. That's one of the things that victimhood does. Is it first of all, it keeps us connected to the problem rather than the solution, and it kicks up a whole bunch of resistance because we're waiting for the other person to change. Well, there's nothing that I can do until that person changes. And so it kind of gives us a free pass. That story of victimhood gives us that free pass. Or I was wronged and they need to make it right. But in the meantime, you know, that phrase, we cut off our nose to spite our face, is what's going on. We kick up a whole bunch of sabotage. And so I want you to think about anything that you are feeling in resistance to right now, and trace it back to the story. What are the thoughts that are going on that are kicking up the resistance? This is going to be too hard. This isn't fair. This is, I didn't understand what this was going to be. They wronged me. They need to make it right. Like whatever that is. So we're just going to let all of that go, because here's the thing. Stories come along to serve us. They really do. Victimhood is to serve us. It really does, but there's a fine line between being a victim and being a volunteer. And the only true victims are children and animals. They're really, and this is not me being insensitive to people that have been or are in abusive relationships. I've certainly been in unhealthy and toxic relationships myself. I've had friends and family members who have been married and been in very abusive relationships. And so this is not me minimalizing that at all. I understand that. But if we can be really honest, there is this point when we're in any sort of relationship that is toxic, where we're no longer the victim, but we continue to volunteer for it because we're in resistance to leaving, or when we're in resistance to standing up for ourselves, or whatever that story is that kicks up that resistance. And so let's take a deep breath and let go of that story. It is no longer serving you. Many times we go into victimhood is just survival, right? And we're just trying to make it through, and we're doing our best. And that served you in that day. But today is not that day. And anything that's kicking up resistance in you is really no longer serving you. And so, again, another breath. Oh, so we got generational stuff coming up. Yeah, we got generational stuff coming up. Okay, we're going to do mother's side first. So take a breath. We got resistance on mom's side, and then we're going to do your paternal side. So let's take a breath from that. Dang. Oh, that's really interesting. So I love sharing behind the scenes with what's going on with me. So generally when energy is moving fast and I need to back off just a little bit, or I know I've moved a ton, it feels dizzy in my mind. It's feeling dizzy and swirly in my legs and my mind, which isn't it interesting that we're clearing resistance, and what moves us forward physically is our legs. From our hips down, we're moving forward. And so I just think it's fun when the energy goes to the legs, like let's move whatever story that is literally keeping your legs locked so that you can move forward. And let's let go of that resistance, to understand that it's not serving you, that it is a program of your subconscious to keep you right where you're at. And here's the great thing about the story. You get to write it. You get to change it from that decision, that it's not going to stop you any longer, that you're going to take the gifts that were there for you, the treasures that were embedded in that situation for you, and use them for your good to move forward. And that's what you get to declare with that. Okay, feels like there's a little bit of, those darker energies, those lower vibrations, disbelief, hopelessness, despair. Um, okay, okay. Take a breath, because we've got some people that are resisting receiving some of this work. And so we're just going to open you up. And again, you can receive as much or as little as you want. That's completely fine, but it feels like it will serve you more, just to help you be in that energy of receiving, because this is only ever for your highest good and for the highest good of everybody who is involved. Okay, great. That is feeling better. And let's open up some extra light as well. So those higher vibrations, possibility, hope, certainty, faith, gratitude, all of those higher vibrations. Oh, where it gives us more light. Thank you. We're going to open up your crown chakra. We're going to not reconnect, but have a clearer, stronger connection between you and God, so you understand how he's speaking to you, and you can move forward with that in confidence. We're going to connect you to heaven and earth. Oh, I'm safe no matter what happens. Everyone's safe no matter what happens. I look to the future with peace and joy. All right, let's integrate that one. We're going to infuse that one. I look to the future with peace and joy. Oh, and we're going to talk about the how of that today too. Is there anything else? I let go of anything that's holding me back. I let go of any forms of resistance that are no longer serving me. I see the big picture. I see myself in possibilities. I'm moving forward. Yeah, everybody's holding really strong on those. So congratulations on that. All right, take a deep breath. And I am going to just send you everything else that you need at this time. So take another deep breath. Oh, excellent. All right. So there are a few things that I want to talk about today. Per requests about how to discipline your mind and staying disciplined in your thoughts. Meditation. We're going to talk a little bit about meditation, and we're going to talk about imagining and harnessing the power of your imagination, which is so juicy and so much fun. So I want to start this out with this reminder. To change your reality, all you need to do is get rid of mental resistance. And that's by Joseph Murphy. I'm going to say that again. To change your reality, all you need to do is get rid of mental resistance. And there are a number of things that we do in order to get rid of mental resistance. And one of the things that we can do, I'm gonna start with meditating first. I'll start with the meditation. So one of the things that we can do to help us to get rid of mental resistance and get us into receiving is meditation. And most people have a very difficult time with meditation because our minds are so cluttered, right? It's so noisy up there in these heads of ours, and we're rabbiting around and the monkeys are running the circus and we're just exhausted and spinning all day long. And it's so exhausting. And meditation is one of those things that's kind of like exercise. Oh, I did it and felt so great, and then I stopped doing it because I felt better. And then we're like, I don't understand why I'm in this spin again. And so meditation is exercise for your soul. And I want to read you a couple of quotes about meditation that I absolutely loved, because people take a very passive approach to meditation. All right, I just got to get quiet and I got to clear my mind of thought. And that's why this is impossible, because you can't stop your mind from thinking. You can't stop thought. You can control thought, but you can't stop it. And so people feel defeated before they even go into meditation, and then they're like, they're closing their eyes and checking their watch, and it's only been like 3 minutes of a 5-minute meditation, and they're like, is this ever going to end? And I've done that so many times. I've run through my to-do list in the middle of a meditation because of the approach that I was taking with the meditation. Like, I got to get this right. And I ran across this quote just last weekend, and I loved it. And it said, meditation is not passive sitting in silence. It is sitting in awareness, free from distraction, and realizing the clear understanding that arises from concentration. And that's by Thich Nhat Han, and I'll put that in the Facebook group, but I'll say it again. Meditation is not passive sitting in silence. It is sitting in awareness, free from distraction, and realizing the clear understanding that arises from concentration. Now, here's where people can get themselves stuck a little bit in their meditation. Oh, now I got to concentrate. Well, isn't that defeating the whole purpose? Because now I'm trying to think. Well, what if the concentration is just about the awareness? Oh, I just had a thought come in. Okay, whew. Let's let that go. All right. This is free from distraction. One of the best ways to get free from distraction is to close your eyes. We block out 80% of stimuli just by closing our eyes. It helps us to get really present in the moment, free from distraction. I have found that meditation is easiest first thing in the morning when my mind is clearer than what it is at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or in the evening. Linda Forrest said this, and she does a lot of work around meditation. And she said, meditation is not designed to be a moment of stillness in a life of chaos. It is designed to be a life of stillness that easily manages chaos. So, and I'll say that one again, and I want you to really think on that one. Meditation is not designed to be a moment of stillness in a life of chaos. It is designed to be a life of stillness that easily manages chaos. So to put this in a way that it's like, I gotta live in stillness now? Like, what is that? No, in this moment of your life, in this 5-minute moment of your life, this is your life in stillness that then manages the chaos when you're finished with it. And so meditation is not passive. Meditation is active. And if you have a very difficult time in guiding and managing your thoughts, then that's fine. There are so many beautiful guided meditations that will give you something to focus on during the time that you're doing your meditation. What I have found has made meditation very powerful for me is the intention I take into the meditation. Meditation is a form of receiving. And so in order for me to receive the direction that I want from God requires things from me. It requires me to get quiet. It requires me to be still, because I don't know about you, but God speaks to me quietly. He speaks clearly, but it's quiet. Now, on the other hand, fear speaks to me very loudly. Like, I don't have to tune into fear. Like, it's just always just waiting to scream at me, right? If that's what I'm willing to listen to, and if that's what I'm available for, or doubt or disbelief or second guessing or any of those things. Those are very, very loud. God's not loud. Now, he can be very, very clear, so it pierces you, but never in my experience have I felt shouted at by God. And so, there have been times where there is urgency, move now, but it's not being screamed at. Okay, so I want to make the distinction there. But my purpose and my intention of meditation is so that I can receive. Receiving energy is feminine energy. Giving energy is masculine energy. We need both to be in balance. Now, we live in a society that is purely masculine. Give, 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 do, do, do. Structure, system, structure, system, structure, system, do, go, go. Make it happen, figure it out. That's all masculine energy. Masculine energy is fantastic energy. Feminine energy is powerful, fantastic energy. Feminine energy is receiving energy. It's the energy of creation. Creation needs to have a form. It needs to have a structure. So if you look at masculine energy as the river banks, feminine energy is the river. If there were no river banks, the river would just go everywhere and be uncontained and not be very powerful. So we need both. And the masculine energy is actually there to serve the feminine. The masculine is the do part in order to create what the feminine has envisioned. And so meditation energy is feminine energy. It's a very powerful energy. And so when you are in that space, and it doesn't have to be a 90-minute meditation, start where you're at. If it's going to be 3 minutes of powerful receiving, and it's receiving of awareness. It's receiving of, I'm in my body right now. This is how it feels for me to take a deep breath. This is what it feels like in my lungs. This is what it feels like in my body. This is what it feels like in my throat. Those are, that's powerful, focused in the moment energy. And it creates stillness. It creates a space for the whispers to come. It's a connection to you and infinite intelligence. Now, to me, there's a distinction between infinite intelligence and God. Infinite intelligence in my world is just the opposite of mass consciousness. Because remember, we've got to have balance. So mass consciousness is the fear, it's the panic, it's everything that is smashed in our face all the time, especially now. Infinite intelligence is the collective genius of the planet and of consciousness. It's that genius. It's what Einstein would tap into. It's what Steve Jobs would tap into. It's what where all of the wonderful inventions and things, it's tapping into that collective genius. And you do that in stillness, and you do that in that awareness. Yes, there are some really great 5-minute guided meditations on YouTube as well. Thank you for mentioning that, Syra. And so start where you're at with 3 to 5 minutes, just practicing the receiving. All right, right now I'm going to practice receiving. Most people are really lousy at receiving, particularly women. We're really, really great at giving. We're lousy at receiving. Do you have a hard time receiving a compliment without deflecting it? Oh, no, it's not me, it's you. All right, so we get to practice this receiving. It makes it much easier to get into envisioning and imagination as well. That is feminine energy too. So powerful. All right, and so I recommend meditating every day. It will make a complete difference on the way in which you go about your day, because you've started it by connecting with your higher power. You've started it in stillness. You've started it in awareness. You've started it in receiving. And then you get to get into the masculine, which is the do, but still stay in the feminine, because we want to keep it fun. Like, feminine energy is playful, it's coy, it's mysterious, it's light, it's fun. It's that it's just that really fun, light energy. And so even as you're going throughout your day, all right, I've got this and this to do. And I don't know if you've read my newsletter, but I talked about, I don't know if I really mentioned feminine versus masculine energy in the newsletter of this week, but it really is, all right, I've got this list of things to do, but I'm going to do it in feminine energy so that I'm staying light and I'm staying in those higher vibrations, and I'm not getting into the grind, I'm not getting into the push and into the figure it out and into the hows, right? It's okay, what feels light to me right now? What feels like it would be easy and fun and flowing? What can I get behind for the next little while out of this list of tasks for me to do? That one, let's do that one. So you can be enormously productive without going to bed in absolute exhaustion and not feeling like you got anything done all day, when you are combining the feminine and the masculine energies together. So, oh yeah, the newsletter is the email. Yeah, the weekly email that you get, and you're all on my email list, so you should have it. And if not, check your spam or your promotion folder. So we interrupt this training for a small promotion from our sponsor. Go see the newsletter and on the email. So, all right. So I think that's enough said about meditation. Make a commitment to do it for a month, every day for a month, and see what happens. See how your day feels. See how you feel throughout your day. See how your day flows. And then then it becomes a non-negotiable. It becomes a must because of the way that your life changes through that meditation. All right, and then you can expand it. There's a really fabulous meditation. It's called the I Am meditation by Wayne Dyer. It's actually 50 minutes, but there's 2 meditations in there. So listen to it, but it's got some really cool music and some different sound waves and things in it. And it teaches you, like, connecting with God. I am that. I am that, I am, and just like moving back and forth with this communication with God. It's really, really beautiful and very simple to do. And so I recommend that. So just go to YouTube and go to Wayne Dyer meditation, and I Am will probably be the first one that pops up, and it's got a gold infinity sign on it, and that's the one. but they're fantastic. You can do meditations without music and just do breath meditations. So whatever way, there are so many different ways that you can do meditation, but it's about just getting quiet. It's about getting still, and it's about calming. All right, so not necessarily clearing your mind. It's just calming the mind, and then receiving those really, that's how you're going to start receiving downloads and that divine inspiration and the direction and the guidance for your next step is through that meditation. All right, so let's talk for a second about disciplining the mind. So I want to talk about that, and then I want to give you a technique for imagining, because of how powerful your imagination is. So disciplining your mind just feels like a big drag, doesn't it? Anytime you got to discipline anything, it's like, nah, I don't want to do that. But here's the thing about disciplining your mind. When you want something badly enough that it stays in your thoughts all the time, it becomes very easy to discipline your thoughts. All right, I'm going to say that again. Know what it is you want, and want it badly enough that it stays in your thoughts all the time. Then it becomes very easy to discipline your thoughts because of how your thoughts make you feel. So when we go at these different processes that I teach you, and yeah, there's lots of moving parts to this, but I want to give you the entire picture. I know, many people with manifesting give you a spiritual bypass. And a spiritual bypass is the whole let go, let God kind of idea, which most people take to mean as, okay, well, I'm going to visualize it and I don't have to do anything, and then God's just going to bring it. But that is the exception that proves the rule. There are specific things that you do so that God can do it. And so we just go into, well, God's just going to bring it to me somehow, and I'm just going to sit and wait for it. And oh my gosh, it didn't come. I guess it wasn't meant to be. That's what I mean by a spiritual bypass. And so we get to do our part with that. And having that discipline in our minds is part of that. It's only allowing those things in that serve what it is we want to receive. It's that visioning. It's not the how. It's not tangling yourself up in the how. It's going to the end result and getting really clear on what that end result looks like and how it feels, and how it feels, what it looks like and how it feels. A day in the life of once you've reached your goal card. What are you going to do, and how do you celebrate, and who are you on the other side of that, and how do you think, and how do you respond to surprises, and how do you respond when you get triggered, and it's going into that exploration of the end result that keeps you from going into that spiritual bypass. But it is also let go, let God. You let go of the things that aren't yours to hang on to anyway, and let God come in and show you what he can do with you and through you in your life. So it becomes this beautiful partnering of the minds and of power in creating. So I don't know the questions, Serena, about which question is that? Doesn't that come from Science of Getting Rich? Sorry. Oh, I guess Amy answered that question, so I wasn't sure what the question was, but hopefully it got answered for you. So
listen, could they chat later when you're to the other thing? The chats are
sure.
to me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Amy, if you'll just answer their questions, then I can keep training. That would be awesome. Or hold your question and then raise your hand, and then I can answer that question for you. So thank you. So it's anything that's not serving how does you want to feel, and it's kicking it out. Like disciplining does not have to be this whip, and in fact it can't be a whip in your mind. If you're going to change your subconscious beliefs, you can't do it through force, you can't do it through coercion. You've got to do it through letting go of mental resistance. All right, and there's a number of ways that we do that. It's why I keep telling you, run your libs every day. Listen to those libs, but listen to them with, first of all, like being in acceptance. Wouldn't that be nice if I am that I am? That's mental ownership. Breathing it in, being present with it, picturing what reality looks like with those libs being your reality. These are the ways that we're staying in our lane only, so that God can come in and work his part, which looks like miracles to us, but it's It's just all in a day's work for him, and it's his joy and it's his honor and it's his pleasure. But we have to take a very specific approach to that in order for him to really show up and show off in our lives and show his power in our lives. We've got to be able to receive it. All right. And so again, don't be whipping yourself. Don't be expecting perfection out of you. It's this awareness without any judgment. And does this thought or belief or decision, because remember, beliefs are decisions, is this decision going to get me what I want? If this decision that this is too hard and I can't do this, and this is too big for me, and this takes too long, is this decision going to get me what I want? And what kind of experience am I going to have if I continue to buy into this decision? And then the discipline gets really easy and straightforward from that, because you just get unavailable to it. No, my decision is this. I create with ease and joy and flow, and I delight in all of the things that I'm learning. And I am an excellent receiver of wisdom, and with wisdom that's properly applied, it comes money. As I give value, I receive it. I must. It's universal law. It's so beautiful. The journey is the destination. So what journey are you having day to day? And that is completely up to you to change, to enhance. That's because you have so much control. So let me talk about imagination, then we're going to open up the lines for questions. So here's the thing with imagination. It is one of the most powerful tools that we've been given, and we use our imagination every day. And we usually use our imagination for evil instead of good, because we're imagining worst case scenario. And right now, with conditions of the world, they're really pumping into our imagination one person's opinion that this is going to last for 3 years, and then there's an entire article about it. That's his imagination. Oh, this study is projecting death and destruction for all. like it's really easy to use our imagination against us. It's so important we use the imagination for us, and there's lots of different techniques to do this. My favorite technique to use is the movie technique, because here's the thing. It's really hard for your mind to hold a static picture. It's very difficult. If it's just still, it's really hard to hold it. But if we get movement in there, then it's much easier for your mind to flesh it out. And so your mind thinks in pictures and emotions, all right? And that's how we reprogram our subconscious, is in pictures and emotions. And that's why the imagination is so amazingly powerful. So when we were broke and I wanted to take my family to Hawaii, underlying all of that was not, I got to prove to myself that these concepts work and turn my business around. It was, I just want to feel better. I'm so tired of beating myself up all the time and being in struggle. Like, that's what it was. I wanted to feel better. And so I would go in my mind to Hawaii many times a day for 3 minutes or 4 minutes. Sometimes I'd go for 10 minutes at a time, because it felt good when I was there. But I made it a movie. And so I was the lead in the movie. So instead of me watching the movie, I was in the movie. So I picture looking out at the sunset over the ocean every night. And what could I see? I could see the front, I could see my hands. I could see my feet in flip-flops and my toes were painted. I could see the horizon. I couldn't see behind me. I couldn't see my son that I pictured coming up and wrapping his arms around me and kissing me on the cheek and saying, "Thanks so much for this vacation, Mom." I couldn't see him, but I could hear him. I could feel the kiss on my cheek. And then I pictured us sitting around the dinner table in our condo, laughing and playing cards and having a great time. And I'd reach for the bowl of popcorn and I'd pop some popcorn in my mouth, and I could taste the salt in my mouth and look around at my family and think, "Oh my word, we did it. Oh my word, we're here. This is so fun. I'm in paradise with my family, and I didn't think I would ever get to paradise with my family. And look at, we're here." And I would hear my kids laughing in my imagination, and I would picture us eating pineapple, and that sweet burst of fresh pineapple, and it's so juicy it runs down my chin and it makes it sticky. And I pictured us hiking up Diamond Head crater, and well, it's a volcano, and like getting a little bit breathless because it is there's some steep parts to it. And there's about 80 steps you have to walk, and just like feeling the coldness of the rail on my hands and hearing the ocean lap. Do you see it? Like, are you there? I would turn on Over the Rainbow, which was sung by a Hawaiian playing the ukulele. And that would instantly transport me to Hawaii. And I'd see the palm trees in my mind, and I'd feel the breeze, and I'd smell that salt water. And for 3 or 4 minutes during that song, I was in Hawaii. And it was so fun to be in Hawaii. And when that song would end, I remember thinking to myself, oh, that was time well spent. Oh, thank you. I feel better. One of the things that people don't do with imagination is release it. And I just described to you how to release it. Most people will do an imagination and then they'll go, I have no idea how that's even going to happen. Well, that was a fun little dream. Let's get back to reality. So then you've just totally undermined what you just spent the last 5 or 10 minutes doing by pumping it with doubt and disbelief. We can also go to the other extreme. What do I do to make this happen? I've got to make this happen. This is so important. Now do you see you keep the energy around that? You haven't released it. You release it, and then you go about your day. Oh, that was such a beautiful experience. Thank you. Thank you. I got to go to Hawaii with my family for the last 3 minutes. You guys, I did this when I was at work, doing packing and shipping and sticking labels on boxes. This was not me like, and now I'm going to go to my sanctuary and imagine. All right. It's when I was doing activities that didn't require brain function. And I would just imagine and imagine. And I would talk with my husband about it just because it was fun to talk to him about it. You want to make sure that it's somebody who's on the same page as you, who's not going to kill your dream with reality or with being practical. All right. You want, so if it's not your spouse, then it's somebody that you trust that will dream with you for a minute. And oh, I want to do this when we're there. And if you've never been there, it's okay. We've got this amazing thing called the internet, and you can look at pictures of the ocean and palm trees and activities that you can do and see yourself there based on those pictures. But then release it and get on with your day. But I would keep going back to the imagination because it felt good. It felt good. And then I thought, well, if we're going to go to Hawaii, then I should probably do some research on airfare. Because we're not just going to flap our arms and get there, and we're certainly not going to drive. So what does that look like? I know exactly where we want to stay. How much is that going to cost? How much is food? Where do we want to eat? What do we want to eat? And let's just play. It's the research phase that's really, really fun. But that's also part of the imagining. It's part of making it real, and it's part of doing your part. But not figuring out, oh man, now how are we going to get the money? No, you just keep going to Hawaii. You don't want the plane. I never pictured us on the plane, ever. I never pictured me, oh, and here I am purchasing the tickets online. No, we just went to Hawaii. I didn't go to any of the hows when I used my imagination. I went right to the end result. All right, so anything that you're wanting, if you're wanting a really, I know somebody's working on property, on a really great piece of property, then you go to the property in your mind, not, oh, and here's the buyer, and here we are waiting for underwriting, and here we are at the closing of this deal. Go right to the property. This is our property. This is amazing. Go right to the results on your goal card. Skip all the hows. That's God's part. And he will give you those ideas, and there'll be little nudges. Like me looking up airfare was a nudge. Let's see what it is. Oh, let's compare flight times. How much time do I want to spend there? What time does this airline leave? Let's compare prices. Let's see where we're at. Does this feel worth it to me? Does this feel like it's a good value for me? Where are we at? I want this rich, prosperous experience. Oh, I should ask a question over here because that's just what I was nudged to do. Oh, I need to look at this website over there. Oh, maybe I should get on some alerts if ever the airfare drops. Oh, that's a great idea. Let's do that. That's inspired action. That's not the grind of figuring it out. And then the money comes. It has to. And it comes through a raise, or it comes through, we were able to do a ton of overtime and to get more money. We ended up having, like, for the whole thing, we ended up with an inheritance from my grandmother who had been dead for a decade. That was never on the radar. But it was interesting because I remember having this little conversation in my mind with people like, oh my word, you're going to Hawaii? And I remember saying, yeah, my grandma was paying for it. Oh yeah, my grandma just decided to take the family. And yep, grandma wanted to take the family. She'd been dead for 10 years. She wanted to take the family because that was important to me. So it's just amazing how these things and how your intuition kicks in and just gives you these little nudges and just gives you these little peaks, that you have to be in the right frame of mind. You have to be taking the right approach. Meditation will help you with that. Meditation will open up the door for imagination, which will make it much easier for you. And then having that discipline in your mind, knowing what you want, wanting it badly enough that it stays foremost in your thoughts. And it stays as this desire and as, yes, this is coming. I am always connected to it. It's either on its way or it's already here. Either way, I'm already connected to it. All right. I'm going to say this one last time. To change your reality, all you need to do is get rid of mental resistance. Those are two powerful ways to do it. This was a very long training. So let's open it up for some questions. I hope that was helpful for you. We are going to start with Miss Lydia. You are up, darling.
Do I have time for 2 questions?
I did not hear what you just said. Please repeat the question.
Do I have time to ask 2 questions?
Yes.
Okay. So first question, when I read Science of Getting Rich, every time the part where he talks about imagining, but then he says, but don't do it as castle building, that always sticks out to me because I'm like, maybe my imagining is castle building. Like, how do I get my imagining to not be castle building and to actually, yeah.
That's a great question. It's the way that you're releasing the imagination. You're not believing. You're like, oh, well, that's pie in the sky. So that's denying the affirmation.
Okay.
That's what Joseph Murphy calls it. And so it's just that, the way you release it, that was a really great way to spend the last 10 minutes. Thank you. I feel great. And then that's what's starting to build the foundation underneath it. So it's not just castles in the sky.
Okay. Because I thought it was, yeah, I was thinking of it as like, oh, if I imagine it, but then I don't do any action, then it's like castle building, but I'm like, I don't know what the action should be. So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so my big question is, so my May 1st came and went, and so that goal's technically done, right? So should I do a new goal?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So, but I've been thinking about like what I want the new goal to be, and I'm like, I just want to go big. Like, I want to do a goal that will like encompass all the things that I want. I'm like I want to pay off debt, and I want to, be able to buy a house, and I want to da 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 da. So I'm like, well, maybe if I just like went to a dollar amount that would cover all of those things, then I could kill feed 20 birds with one stone. I don't know. Does that work?
Yeah, you can certainly have a money goal for sure. You got to make sure that the money has a really strong purpose and that purpose lights you up for that. And if it's this, I want $300,000 and right now I make $15 an hour, you've got to increase the timeline on that. Because it's too big of an energetic jump from where you are and where your beliefs are right now in order to, in the next 4 months, buy a house, pay up all your debt, get a, this, that, and the other, like whatever that is. So you need to extend your timeline on that or adjust the dollar amount. And I would really I get the whole let's go big. Although let's admit, like your place felt really, really big to you. So this is really fun that you're like, well, I want to go big now. You know, and you were clenching your butt the whole way through this. So that's super fun. So it tells me that you're in a different level of belief, which is fabulous. So congratulations on that. But right now, like you haven't gone through all the modules yet, right? Okay, and so you're still laying down the foundation. And so this is where I want to rein you back just a little bit. That's why I tell you guys, you need to do 2 or 3 rounds of this, because the first round you're laying down the foundation, then you're like, I think I got it. Now let's do 14 things at once, but you don't even have the whole foundation yet. Like definitely find your new goal, because I don't want you just being like hanging out for the next 2 months. Like definitely like get your new goal. But like, what do I want to do in the next 2 months? What feels stretchy in the next 2 months or the next 4 months or whatever? Let's keep it really, really dialed in.
Okay.
And really focused on the one thing that you want. It's the whole difference between the ray of sunshine or the magnifying glass that you use with the sun, and it becomes a laser. And that's what I want you to do. Is be really lasered. All right?
So last little part of that, I want like a best friend, like to hang out with. Is that something that I can like make a goal? Because like I don't want to control people, but.
Oh no, it's not about controlling people. No, I think it'd be a fabulous thing to do. Oh yeah, people call on their soulmate with this stuff all the time.
Okay.
Absolutely. Do a friend. That would be great.
All right, cool. That's
Okay.
everything. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, Denisha, you are up.
How do I do my video? Hold on, I'm coming. Start video. There we are. Hi again. Hello, hello.
Oh.
So I want more training on keeping in my feminine state.
So I taught quite a bit about feminine and masculine energy today. What did you take away from that?
That I'm not very good at being in my feminine state. I don't feel like I'm very good at being creative in general.
Okay.
That's hard. That's something that I don't feel is one of my strengths. I think I have a really strong push forward type 3 energy, and I like that, and I like how that feels, and I like accomplishing stuff, but I feel like I'm just pushing my family around all the time. And I think that part of the reason that I gravitate to that, don't laugh at me.
I'm laughing with you.
Because it's like I talked about in my question in the group, is like from 6 to 8, I'm like all this feminine, like the meditation and the being in tune and stuff, like all that feminine energy, and I love it. And then the kids wake up and we get going, I'm like, all right, we got to get stuff done. We got to do this, we got to da, 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 da. And I switch, whoop. All right, now we're in my masculine. And I had the aha that now that's why I'm struggling with the kids, is because I'm just trying to push. And they're trying to push back with what they want and what they need of them, and what I think they need and what they should be doing and what I want to be doing. And it's just this constant push most of the day until they get their stuff done. I'm like, all right, now fine, now go away, leave me alone, go play, go do whatever. And then finally I can go back into my calm, what I want to do, because I'm done dealing with them. And so I want to figure out how to stay in my feminine state with my kids. And I just realized like how important that is. I am the only woman, the only female in the house. And so I am their example for how a woman should be, how a female should be. And I used to pride myself on like, I am such a cool mom. Like, they're so lucky that they have a mom that will do all this cool stuff and do all these cool things, instead of just like this wimpy mom that just wants to like, oh, I don't feel good today, or oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, let's go, let's do, you know what I mean? And now I'm like, I don't know, maybe that's not the right thing.
Well, here we go. Like, here's the thing. Feminine energy is not mamsy-pamsy energy. It's not a weak energy. And that's how it has been portrayed for years and years, for hundreds and thousands of years, because it is so powerful. And so so women in that feminine energy have been subdued because it's a threat for since the dawn of time. And so feminine energy, though, is it's a fierce energy. It's not just like, and we're going to wear robes and put flowers in our hair. And you can certainly wear robes and put flowers in your hair, but there is also a purpose to that feminine energy. And so femininity is playful. Femininity is coy. Femininity is all about going into the unknown and being okay with the unknown instead of being like, what's the battle plan now that we're in the unknown, right? It's like, it's time to play, children. We're going to play now. This is what being playful.
And that's how I kind of feel like I am. Like, we're going to play cards right now. Like, everybody come on, we're playing cards. We're having fun. Knock it off. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, like, that's not fun for anybody.
Exactly. And so it's getting into flow. All right. The feminine energy is the flow energy. It's the mystery. It's the mystique. It's what makes the masculine energy want to woo the feminine, right? And so it's the flirty. It's the fun. And so and I know I'm using this, in regard to men in particular, but I want you to think about in regard to what you've got written on your card. We're going to have feminine energy around this. We want to be playful with this. We want to be like, oh, what would it be like? It's like the imagination is the feminine energy. The meditation is the feminine energy. The receiving. Now, another word for receive is experience. All right. And so how do you want to experience your day with the boys? Do you want it to be now? And it's important to have structure, especially when you got 5 boys. Like, that's important. The structure is important. So we need the masculine to serve the feminine. But what's the experience I want to have through this? I want to have it I want it flowing. I want it fun. I want it to feel easy, and I want it to feel light. That is feminine energy. I want it to feel playful. And so there's a number of ways that you can do that, and having those boundaries is really important. But like playing games with the boys, as far as like moving from one thing to the next, gamifying things helps get you more into that creative energy, and then you get different ideas for how to engage them in a way that's not a battle. Nobody has to suit up, nobody has to put on their armor, because this is what it is and this is what it looks like. And you will find that when you're it's called empowered feminine, their empowered masculine will respond to that. Your husband's empowered masculine will respond to that. And it's just like, it's being, and I know Lance is on here, or was, yeah, Lance is on here. And so like Lance has got feminine energy as well. We've all got feminine, we've all got masculine energy, but it's coming into alliance with the two. And so it's, all right, how am I going to use the masculine energy to serve the feminine with the playful and like, do you see what I'm doing with my hands when I talk about feminine energy? It's very round. It's very flowing. It's, and so like, I know that when I dress like a girl, I feel more feminine. Mm-hmm. If I like we've been in lockdown for 6 weeks, and more often than not, I do my hair and I put on my makeup and I get dressed because I show up in a different energy. I'll put on my jewelry because it puts me in a feminine energy, which then helps me in very masculine tasks that I'm doing. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So tell me one thing that you're going to do to start getting into your feminine and utilize it.
Oh gosh.
Because if you don't know how to apply it, then it's not going to do you any good.
Yeah, so playful, fun, easy, light, coy, flowing, mystery and mystique, flirty. I don't know. I don't know.
What if let's talk about with your boys, to getting them from move to task.
Well, like, let's use for example right now. So we Airbnb our home, and we have guests coming tomorrow, and we're heading out to go camping. So today I have a million tasks that need to get done, not only to load up all the stuff to go camping, but also to prepare our home to go from looking like 7 people live here to no, nobody lives here. Nobody lives here at all. Like, this is just for you. You know what I mean? So there's a million things that needs to get done. So I've got lists for everybody of what they need to do. This is what you need to do. And we've done this enough time that they're like, oh yeah, like, here we go. This is the drill. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So how do I, this is a great example. Like, how do I do that and keep everybody moving forward and accomplishing everything to get done while still being playful and coy and light and easy?
Well, yeah, Maya says turn on music. That's the first thing I was
That's a
going to
good
say.
idea, and we do that a lot, so that's good.
Turn on music. And also, how about, ooh, I've got something really special planned for us at the end of this. And oh, I'm really excited to share. What is it, Mom? What are we doing? Oh, why don't you get this list done and then come back, and then we'll see. We'll see if I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek into what it might be.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they're like, yes, let's do that. And then they're like, okay, Mom, what is it? Oh, you know what? Why don't we go do this? This will be really fun. Let's do this. You get that done and then come on back. And then come on back. Let me see how it looks. Let me see how it feels. And then we'll see. And that's playful. That's coy. There's a treat at the end of this tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get through the tunnel and let's do it fun. Maybe you do a dance break in the middle of it, and for 2 minutes, everybody shakes their booty. I don't know how your older kids would do with that, or like, let's have, muscle man competition or whatever it is, but it's like 2 minutes of like dance break.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And let's go back. Let's do it. Let's do this a little bit differently so that we can get ready to have a lot of fun on our camping trip. It's going to get you into the energy of the play of the camping.
Okay.
And then the treat can be whatever you want it to be.
Okay. I'll try it.
Okay.
I'm open to the possibilities.
Yes. Open up to the possibilities. Just play with it. You can't do it wrong if you're playing.
Right.
Play with it. What worked really well? What can we improve for next time? Let it be an experiment.
Awesome.
The experimental energy is great feminine energy.
Awesome. Okay.
Right.
That helps a lot. Thank you.
Awesome. You are welcome. Serena says, ask your kids if they can do it with a smile. And then they smirk, and then she laughs, and then they laugh, and then it lightens the whole mood too. So
good idea. Good idea. Thank you, ladies. Thanks, Martha and Serena.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great. Okay, we are going to take a 5-minute break. So I want everybody to get up and stretch. If you haven't had water, definitely get some water. And we got a nice line of people, or a nice line of questions coming up. So give me 5, take 5 yourself, and we will see you back here and get more questions answered. See you in a minute. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, we got some people in line, but I found a list, those of you who love lists, about characteristics between femininity and masculinity. All right, which I think will be helpful. There were a couple of people who said they need help with more feminine, with more feminine energy. So, femininity is being, masculinity is doing. Femininity is feeling, masculinity is thinking. Femininity is spontaneous, masculinity is predictable. Femininity is intuitive, masculinity is logical. Femininity is playful, masculinity is results oriented. Femininity is beautiful, masculinity is functional. Femininity is invisible, masculinity is concrete. Femininity is circular, masculinity is linear. Femininity is dynamic, masculinity is sturdy. Femininity is vulnerable, masculinity is protective. Femininity is nurturer, masculinity is provider. Femininity is community, it's the we. And masculinity is individuality, or the I. Femininity is, you've heard me say, take a stand for the and, that's femininity. Masculinity takes a stand for the or, it's either or. Femininity is receiving, masculinity is giving. So do you see how they both of these different qualities serve us, but we are mostly in our masculinity, not so much in our femininity. And as we can bring those two into alliance with each other, it makes us such a more complete being. So I want you to look at femininity as kind of the approach for as you're going about your tasks. All right, so hopefully that's helpful. All right, who is up next? Lance, our lone male, I think today. You are up.
I don't mind. I'm used to that.
I'll bet.
Anytime a male believes in energy and energy healing, it's always a rare thing.
This is true. The odds are in your favor.
Yeah.
All right, what can I do for you?
So I need some help with, I guess, reframing, helping me improve my why. Because when I think about a money goal, so going back to your money module, you had mentioned that wanting money for the feeling of security is not a great reason for wanting money, but that's what I tend to go back to. That's what I tend to default to.
Uh-huh.
Kind of the bills and grocery, kind of like I'm trying to elevate my thinking, elevate my vision, my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to me that I just keep falling back to this like need for security. That's always the why behind the money part. And so I need some help improving that, because I don't want to stay in that need for security as my why.
So right now, making money, the source for your security is making money your God. And so it's really understanding, see, what that is doing is keeping you in survival. So we want you to think a little bit bigger, a lot bigger, to pop you out of survival. You know, when it's like, I just want to make the bills. I just want to be able to have groceries. I want to make sure that I'm okay and everyone's okay. There's so much struggle that's inherent in that, because you go into future tripping, you go into like the whole what if, you go like, it just keeps you steeped in that struggle. And so we like what do you want to do? Like, what's like, let's give a purpose to money. Like, do you want to be able to speak in London? I don't know. Like what do you want to do that requires money?
And I think the fear behind, I think the reason that it's like there's a part of me that doesn't want to think big and go out there is just that I think it's the fear of being visible. I think it just keeps coming back down to that. So I could speak in, I'm fully qualified. I'm fully capable of doing that, but it's like this visceral reaction that like triggers in me anytime I would even think about doing that. So
Being visible. So what does it mean if you're visible?
I think it means that people will see the real me. People will see weaknesses and criticize and embarrassment. Embarrassment is a big one.
So being visible means that you'll be judged, you'll be criticized,
Yeah.
and you'll be embarrassed.
Yeah.
And so two of those things you have no control over, because you absolutely will be judged, you will be criticized. It's human nature, Lance.
Yeah.
It's just what we do,
And
right?
it's this feeling that I want to control that so that that never happens, but I can't control that. So
Right. But what you can control is how much you care, whether they're going to judge you and criticize you, and whether you're going to be embarrassed about showing the real you. And so you would just get to give a different meaning. This is interesting that we've branched out this way, but this is going to tie back into money. I can feel it. I'm not quite sure how, but it will. And so because we got to give a different meaning. Like, do you want to be more visible in your practice and in your business?
I mean, part of me says yes, and another part says no. It's this internal conflict.
Because if you're visible, then that means ultimate embarrassment.
Mhm.
Because why? What does the embarrassment mean?
I think in the end, disrespect, not credible, and not being able to actually contribute my value to people because they wouldn't respect or listen to me, kind of thing. So
Okay.
I think that
Great.
that comes back to stuff from childhood, and so
Okay, so there's a piece of you that still needs to be healed.
that's what it feels like.
So are you ready to heal that little boy in you?
Yeah.
So how old were you, and what happened that where you were seen and you were criticized and judged and made less than and were ashamed?
Well, my oldest brother was pretty cruel with his. He was always making fun of people on TV. Anywhere we were driving, he would always mock people, and he would do it to us and do it in front of his friends, and it was quite humiliating. So how old was I? It feels like he was doing that since as early as I can remember, maybe 3.
Okay. And so how did you compensate for that? Did you go invisible around your brother?
I tried to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to never be around him.
Okay. So this is a really powerful survival mechanism, which was needed in the home you grew up in with the sibling that you had. That served you well as a 3-year-old, as a 5-year-old, as a 15-year-old. It kept you protected. And now it's working against you. Because now you have so many gifts to share, and you have so much healing to offer.
And I really do, and I recognize the value that I have to contribute. It gets sabotaged, and I'm sick of it.
Right. So stay with me as we talk to this little 3-year-old boy.
Okay.
And if you could talk to your brother, not as your 3-year-old, but on behalf of you as your 3-year-old self, as you being the advocate, what would you like to say to your brother to release you from the bondage that he created in you?
That it wasn't right, it wasn't fair, that he was always making fun of people because they were just doing the best they knew how.
What else would you like to say to him?
That it's okay to just have weakness. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to just be ourselves. And it's okay for me to laugh and have fun and be loud and run around and jump, and I don't need to worry because that's who I am.
Mm-hmm. And if we were to give a different meaning to the whole situation growing up, that his taunting and his mocking and his teasing had nothing to do with you, but everything to do with the fact that he felt so scared and he felt so inadequate and he felt so fraudulent that the only way to hide that was to point it out in others and to mock it. Is it easier to see that that is his story?
Yeah, that was really helpful to see from his point of view. Because I mean, I'm sure he was hurt. Yeah.
And you know that saying, hurt people. And many times when we are scared, we want to deflect the attention off of us.
Mm.
And what better way to do that than by pointing out somebody else?
Mm. That just makes so much sense.
And here's the thing, we get to look at your brother with love and compassion. That's his story, and that's his belief that he ran. Does he still behave that way?
In different ways, yeah, kind of.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's still running in those beliefs and he's still running in that story. And you adopted that story because he's your big brother. And you wanted to perform for your big brother.
Yeah.
Right? We look up to our brothers, whether they are a good example to us or a bad example to us. But you also had to stay safe around your older brother. And so to stay in his good graces required you to hide very important aspects of yourself in the name of self-preservation.
Mm.
And it was necessary for you to run that story in that day. But today is not that day. And you're not performing for your brother. You're not showing up even to serve your brother. Your brother doesn't want what you have to offer, and that's okay. He and those kind of people are not who you're going to attract anyway. You're going to attract people who see you and admire your vulnerability because they see the power behind it and that it's actually a strength, which makes you so relatable and so trustworthy that of course they're going to work with you as a male because they know they're safe with you. See, God gives us weaknesses so that they'll become our strengths. It's why it's so exciting if you have a weak money story, it's meant to be strong. If you have weakness in showing who you really are and invisibility, that's meant to be a strength. So you get to create a new story around that. And here's the thing, Lance, being in the industry that you are in with the healing and the energy arts, being a man in it works against you. Because 90% or more of your clientele are women. And we just don't trust men, generally speaking, with things like energy and things like healing us in this kind of a capacity with a man. Society has driven that out of us. But when you, as a man, will show up in that empowered masculine, willing to be visible, willing to show your mistakes, that you are a safe place, your clients will resonate with that so quickly. And they'll tell you over and over again, I'm working with you because I feel safe with you.
I love that. The vulnerability, creating a safe place for them. That's what I want.
Yeah. And that's one of your gifts.
That's fun. That I've never really considered it as a gift of mine, but I believe it.
Absolutely.
I believe it.
Yes. Yes, it is. Absolutely a gift. And so visibility, my man, requires money. If you're wanting to speak on stages and share your gifts with the masses, it's going to require money.
Oh yeah.
More than groceries and your cell phone and your rent.
Oh yeah.
And so what if we use money as impact? I require more than just the basics because I want to make an impact. And does it feel more natural to you to ask God to help you make an impact and to supply the way financially for you to make an impact?
Absolutely. I totally believe that. I believe that I'm going to make a difference in the world because of my experiences, the knowledge that I've gained. People need it, and people are suffering, and this stuff will help people change their lives. I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that God is on my side about this.
All right, so then let him be your source where money is concerned as well, and start asking larger.
Okay.
And start thinking larger financially.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Do it.
All right.
Thank you, Allison.
You're welcome. All right. Syra, you are up.
Hey,
You.
good. Lance, thank you for bringing that sensitive subject up. Wow, it touched me and I learned something I didn't know I needed. It helped me so much. Thank you first.
Thank you, Sarah.
Wow. Okay, so I'm glad I wrote down what I was going to bring up. Otherwise, I would have just forgotten. But this couple of weeks, I have experienced, I've been working with my goal card and doing the 30-day experiment, meditating, and a few things have come up with the feeling of jealousy. And
Okay.
so 2 instances. One, at my work, I'm like, okay, I'm so excited. I doubled my goal at work. And this other girl.
Hang on. We got to celebrate.
Okay, I doubled my goal for work. I didn't quite get it. It all went 2/3 of it at the end of the month. But the thing is, the other marketer, so I'm a marketer for a title company, and we're both always 1 or 2 orders difference. And I'm like, I just want to kick butt and do double. I don't want to be so close. I just want to be over the top number 1.
Okay.
Well, they changed the structure and something where the company gave her credit for all these clients that were in-house clients. So she achieved my goal, and I went 10 over what I normally do in my orders. And just to give you numbers, I usually close at 19 or 20, and my goal was 50 because I'm just okay, I want to double. I'm done with this 19, 20, 21, 20. It's so annoying.
Okay.
So I reached 29. She did 59 because they give her all these in-house free credits, clients. I don't know if you know what I mean, but I was so jealous and kind of angry at that because I'm what? How is she? achieving my goal. It was supposed to be me. Angels, you missed the spot. It was supposed to be here, not there. So that's one. And so I was like, okay, just breathe. It was like cheating. She really didn't achieve it. She didn't work for it. But then I'm like, no, that's the law of attraction. You're not supposed to like work so hard at it. So then I'm like working harder with this energy of like competition.
Yeah.
And so my energy is like so that, okay. So that's one instance.
Okay, so just stop you right there. Stop you right there. And it's absolutely the energy that you were in. And so this is really interesting because jealousy is the result of thoughts. And so like, and I just want to point out, like you increased your goal by 1/3 and completely discounted it. Even though like, you're like, yeah, here was the goal here, but there was no celebrating at all the fact that you not just blew past 19 or 20, you hit 29 that were like verified, bona fide leads and like bona fide goal. All right. Now you've got somebody else in your space that cheated, but she didn't.
No, I know.
So to keep you out of that competition energy, she's in your space and she hit the goal that you had, which means you're very, very close to it. The meaning you gave it was, I was cheated out of it. This isn't fair. She didn't earn it. You're supposed to work for it. And you see how that's against all the spiritual principles that you've been learning, which is okay because we live in this really competitive society, and the whole playing field is competitive rather than creative. And so regardless of how those came to her, she was in the energy of receiving. And she was in the energy of receiving in very easy ways that didn't require her to grind at all, as evidenced by the fact that she received without grinding.
Yeah.
At all. And so it's this is for observational purposes. This is awareness with zero judgment, because you were spectacular. Look at this. You blasted through those teens. So you know you can hit 50. You're almost at 30 already. Like, that is beautiful. And so now you get to energetically celebrate her win, because it was really your win too. It's where people get totally messed up in success. And they won't celebrate other people's success because it diminishes theirs. But in the competitive field, yes, but we don't play there. We play in the creative realm. And all that means is you are so close to it because she is directly in your space. So this is just more evidence that if she can do it with ease and with joy and without work, then you absolutely can too. That doesn't mean you're not going to effort. That doesn't mean you're not going to, like, you're going to do your part, but you're not going to grind.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay. Yeah, so that was my problem. I like turn into grind because I'm like, I've been watching the numbers every day and I'm like, so what is a good tool to use when I'm like in that space? Like,
well, to give it a different meaning. So I would say, oh my word, Becky got this, which is really just a reflection of me.
oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah, I got it too, because what you just bumped up against too was the law of projection. She triggered you in a negative way. Anytime that we are emotionally triggered, it's the law of projection, and we're seeing something in somebody else that we're ignoring in ourselves, or that we haven't developed. It either needs to be healed in us or it needs to be developed in us. And what you're seeing in her is a skill in you that needs to be developed more.
Okay.
And so she's just your mirror.
Okay.
Like, look at this.
Yeah, yeah.
She can do it, I can do it.
Writing down, so I am paying attention.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Another thing that you can do to keep you out of the grind is your goal 50 for this month again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So are they going to be clients? Is that what it is? I've got 50 clients.
Yeah, at closing. So yeah, just yeah. So right now I'm at 3 for the month.
Excellent. We're only on the 6th. That's brilliant. I love it. So we're going to celebrate every step of the way. I see myself with 50 closings this month. I see myself with 50 closings in 29 days, or what are we at? it's the 6th, 27 days, whatever it is. I see myself with 50 closings by May 31st. I see myself. I'm so excited that these closings were here. I would make a list of 50 and put in those 3 and celebrate the 3. Thank you so much that I got to serve you. And I am so excited I get to serve 47 more of you. This is so delicious. Come to me, my pretties. Come to me. I receive you. I take such great care of you. You love your experience with me just because I know about impression of increase and law of compensation. And it's such a beautiful relationship we have together. Thank you so much. Do what I do. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Please send more. 47 more. I want 47 more by May 31st. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you feel it?
Yes. That was awesome. Okay, thank you. Yes.
And your goal is 100 times a day out loud. I see myself with 50 closings. I see myself with that list filled. I am so thankful for these 50 people I got to work with. I am so thankful for these 50 people. I see myself working with these 50 people. I see myself with 50 closings. 100 times a day, out loud.
Okay.
Just for fun.
Wow, I'm so pumped up. Okay, good. Okay, and then the same feeling, just a totally different space is when so I'm divorced, so I share my kids. They're with their dad 1 week and 1 week with me. And their dad is all sporty, and when I see, they send me pictures of they're playing with their dad at the park and pickleball and yesterday basketball and all this stuff, and I just get like so sad and depressed because when I'm with them, they don't want to do that stuff. I'm like, let's go hiking, let's go this. No, I just want to go home. Let's just watch a movie. So I get so jealous that like he's the fun parent, and like I feel abused because they just want to be home and have me cook for them. And I know they appreciate and they love my cooking, and that's just a different love, but I still feel like it takes the energy. So I'm working with my goal and I'm excited, and as soon as they say something or I see a picture or a video that they were like playing pickleball, then I get like all sad, and then I don't even want to work my goal. Then I feel like, what's money worth if I don't have the love of my kids? And then I get all dramatic. Like I'm gonna cry about it now. So I'm struggling with that because I'm like trying to work my goal, and then these 2 instances happened these 2 weeks.
Okay, so everything's a mirror, and the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And so I'm not surprised that it's showing up in all different areas of your life, and then it takes the wind out of your sails. So you get to give a different meaning to the videos that they're sending. They're getting their needs met. They're having a healthy relationship with their dad. That is fantastic. I want to add another element to our relationship with my kids too. And so when they get home, I'm going to talk to them. We have a whole week. They receive love from you through your cooking and through that togetherness of like being home and the nurturing part of you. And that's fantastic. But if you're needing that love expressed in a different way, then you get to communicate that to them. I would really like to go hiking while you're here this week. That's really important to me. What's your favorite meal, or a list of the meals they like, and I would love to cook for you, or whatever that is.
Okay.
All right. So give it a different meaning.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, thank you. So helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Jill, you are up.
Okay.
Hello.
My computer glasses on, but that's okay. So I have had a lot of changes lately with, as my dog. That's another change, by the way, a puppy, which is not a good change. But so when I retired from the school district, then I went into vacation rentals, and that became a really huge job. And I was just really looking for some little thing. So I'm almost done with my real estate license, and then things changed really quickly. And I'm going to transition out of this job by the end of this month, and I'm going to transition into my other job. So I feel like I'm kind of like things are happening a little too fast, but I'm also feeling like I'm kind of in a funk. that maybe I'm resisting the change. I don't know. I have been doing the modules. I've been doing, I read Edwina Gaines' book. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with her. You know, I've been doing been listening to the Think Rich guy, The Science of Being Rich, or whatever that is. So I've been kind of immersing myself in all that. But I guess, is there anything you can tweak? Is there anything, like, it feels like it's going too fast. I feel like I'm resisting the
Yes.
good things coming.
Yes. So it feels like a little bit of hustle energy to me. Do you feel like you're in some hustle?
Yeah, I gotta get this done now. Before I could just kind of lolly along, you know, and get things done. But now I'm like, oh my gosh. And now I feel like I need time and, you know.
Okay. Yes. So first of all, hustle is scarcity.
Hey,
So anytime.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Fine. We
Trust her. She's 8 weeks old. I'm gonna walk and grab her while we're talking. Go ahead.
So anytime you're in hustle, when you're in hurry, when you're in worry, when you're in rush, you're connected to scarcity. It's why you're feeling like you don't have enough time. You've got too much to do. You're not sure, like things are moving too fast. It's because you're in that scarcity energy. And so here's the thing, like we're in this moment of time where there is quickening that's going on. Things are happening faster and faster. But the way you experience time, you get to decide. And so you get to just declare that no matter at what speed things are going, you are adaptable because you are in ease, because you are in flow. And if it's not feeling that way, then you get to be in really strong awareness of that and like, nope, I'm not available for this kind of rush. I'm not available for, oh, I got to get all this stuff done. Nope. What feels light to me? What feels easy? What can I spend the next 15 to 60 minutes? What can I get behind right now? That's going to actually make you a whole lot more productive, but it's also going to get you into that ease and flow. It's how you expand and collapse time as well. So you can start playing with time. But if you're in time scarcity, you're at the mercy of time.
Okay. Sorry, when the puppy has to go potty. The puppy has to go potty. Okay, is there, so, sorry, I feel like I was so distracted, but I don't want to take anybody else's time. So I'll go back and listen to this. Is there anything else, your thoughts before we?
Stay present in the moment. You're future tripping as well. And so that's filling you with some anxiety also. This is moving too fast. I don't know that I'm ready for this. You're trying to live in the future. So keep yourself present in the moment. What can I do today? And I require that I'm in peace and I'm in calm and that I'm in like flow, like I can transition from one thing to the next. This is what I require. All right. And have that conversation with yourself and with God. Like, I'm really excited. There's these really fun changes that have come, but I'm in overwhelm and this doesn't work for me. So this is what I require.
Okay.
Either slow it down or help me to step into this in a way that feels graceful and easy and flowing to me.
Okay.
When you're direct like that with God, He loves it because you're very clear with what you want. You're very clear about what you will and will not tolerate as far as your experience is concerned, and He'll deliver it to you. Okay? But stay in the present moment.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome, darling. Good to see you. All right, Miss Serena, you are up.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good, because I have earbuds in and I just recently got them, so I wasn't sure how the microphone would work on them.
Great.
Yeah, so you were talking about giving is masculine energy, and let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I was looking at the 30-day experiment the other day, and the part that kind of hit me, so I've worked through modules 1 through 5, but I was going back to this again, and where you say, do more than you have to do. Keep a cheerful and positive outlook and give of yourself more than you ever have before. And that actually really sent me for a loop when I first read it, because I feel like I give so much that I don't take care of myself. And so being told to give more of myself, I was like, whoa. How do I give more if I already feel like I'm giving too much of myself?
Well, first of all, if you're giving too much of yourself, it's because you don't have proper boundaries. And so that's not actually giving, that's martyring. And so
Right.
between that, the best way that you can give more of yourself than you've ever given before is being present in the moment.
Okay. So it's speaking more to that than necessarily doing more.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Proper boundaries and being present. Okay. That clarifies that, because that was tripping me up. Okay. The other piece that really spoke to me is you started tapping into some of the time stuff with the last gal. And I've mentioned this before. I am really struggling with not being in scarcity with time. And just there have been, over the last year, I have found ways to be present, to let things flow. And now I'm looking at stepping up and doing more with my business. And I feel that time crunch come crashing down on me again, to where schedules feel very restrictive to me, because in the sense that if I don't get it done here, then it's like, and then I'm off schedule. And anyway, so I really resist schedules because it feels very restrictive to me. So this idea of flow I've worked with before, in that I have a general outline and then I flow in between it. And to me, that works for me. But yet at the same time, speaking of needing to make sure I have time here and time there, and also I'm really bumping up against getting myself to bed to where I get a good night's rest.
Okay.
So time is a huge thing for me right now.
Okay. So it's the belief that you have around time that there's not enough of it. And your belief around the schedule. You've got resistance to the schedule because to you a schedule means restriction, and a schedule means controlling. So what if we made the meaning of the schedule be, a schedule means I actually have more time. Instead of it being restrictive, it's actually quite expansive, because now I have a container in which I can flow. Now,
that
now we
feels
have,
so yeah.
well, of course, because you're still running, the schedule is restrictive, so of course you're going to bump up against that. But which one is going to serve you more? A schedule is restrictive and makes me time crunch, or a schedule gives me more time?
I just don't see how it would give more time.
You don't see how. You just got to believe that a schedule gives you more time. And you can still flow within that schedule. Because you can have your time block. I've got a 2-hour block right here. And how do I want to flow in this 2-hour time block? Ooh, this one right here feels easy. This feels pleasurable to me. Let's be pleasurable in our time. That's a feminine quality. Ooh, this one feels expansive to me. This one feels fun. This one feels easy. So we're going to pick those and we're going to put it into this 2-hour time block. This is what I've got, Lord. You either need to expand these 2 hours to fill these four things that I want to fit in these 2 hours, or you need to collapse the length of time it's going to take for each of these things to be done within these 2 hours. Either way, these things I require to be done in this amount of time.
Okay. So the piece that then comes up, I know relates back to boundaries of that time. And so are you saying that it's important to keep the boundaries, that if this time is for this, keep those boundaries in place with the request from God to help maintain that boundary?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And understanding too, hon, that life happens. And so it's not about being at the mercy of the schedule or being at the mercy of time, that this is what I've got to work with today. These are the puzzle pieces that I want to fit into this framework. And I'm going to allow life to happen because I know everything's always working for me. And my needs are always met. I promise to keep my boundaries as much as I'm capable of right now. Will you please make up the difference till I get really strong on my boundaries? And one thing that I'm willing to sacrifice right now is staying up later. I will get myself to bed. That's what I'm willing to do. That's what I can do. Will you do
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and then and here's the thing, hon. Like, we get to play with this. We get to experiment with this. We can't just be like, no, that's not going to work. Right? This is like could this be a possibility. I can't see how this will work. That's not the question we ask. Could this be a possibility? If I brought you the house, and I'm saying I from the of God. If I brought you the house, and then you see how it worked, like, are you willing to step into this possibility?
Mm.
Yeah. All right, step into the
Okay.
Let me show you what I can do. All right.
Wouldn't it be fun if time worked in this way?
Wouldn't it be? Oh, it's so fun when time obeys you,
Okay.
and it will.
Whew. Okay. Thank you, Allison.
You're welcome. You are welcome. All right. Last but certainly not least, we have Miss Martha/Maya. You are gonna close this thing out for us.
Hi.
Hello there.
Let's see. I thought I hit my video. Can you see me?
No, not yet, but I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So I just want a suggestion on how to stay out of the restrictive thinking, or how to pop myself out of it, because pardon?
Give me for instance.
Okay, so I want to buy a home, and I've been wanting this for a year now. Okay, and I'm not sure why I've resisted, but I'm guessing it's my restrictive thinking, or maybe the perfect home in the perfect area is still developing. I don't know, but so this is what happens when I go into how am I going to create this, which is my first problem. Okay.
Yep.
Anytime I go into, I'm looking at homes, or I'm looking at them online, or I'm driving by, I think in my head, okay, how am I going to qualify for this? You know, and then I tried to, and I know you laughed at me lovingly because I told you I know too much about mortgages. I know more than God, you know, on how this is going to be created.
Don't we all?
But I still go there. I still go there in my head. How am I going to make my income qualify now that my main income has been shut off? Even though I have plenty of income, how are they going to accept this income? And because I know all the rules. Anyway, how do I do that? Because my mind just goes crazy.
So, and this is a wonderful, wonderful question. And you're not asking a question that not one person here does not have an issue with. All right. And so, like, thank you. And thank you to all of you for the questions you've asked that have been applicable to virtually everybody here. And so it's because you're trying to visualize the how. You're not visualizing the house. So you're trying to, and that's getting tangled up in how. Well, I know too much. But go to the house. Don't go to underwriting.
Okay.
Don't go to, are they going to make a new rule maybe? Let's visualize them making a new rule. No, you don't care how.
Okay.
Go into the house.
Okay.
The house. The house.
Okay.
God, that gets to be his. It gets to be his. That's his field. That's his expertise, not yours.
Okay.
So you go to the house, and so see yourself in the house. Skip the process. Skip the whole process in your mind. And when your mind goes to how, we're trained to do it, okay? And so like it's all right. Like I had to catch myself the other day. I was going to the how, and I'm like, why am I feeling down? Oh, because I was in the how. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Let's course correct here, and let's go right to the end.
Okay.
To the end. I'm in my home. I love this space. This was a miracle. This was another Gideon moment that God, who loves me so much, granted me yet again. This was just amazing. The right people, the right loans, the right tools, the right rules, everything clicked right into place. And look at me. Look at me. And one of the things why you've been in want for a year is that it stayed in want and it didn't go to must.
Okay.
I must be in my home. I must be in my home that is completely me, that is joyful to pay for, that was a joyful process to go through, that like, this is what I require. If I have to jump through hoops, I'll jump through hoops. What I require is that it's joyful jumping.
Okay.
That's what I require. And oh my word, windows of heaven, thank you so much, because this brings me closer to God. This brings me greater faith, greater trust, greater certainty. Ain't nothing that I can do. Oh my word, I manifested my home and I knew too much about mortgages. If I can do that, I can do anything.
Okay.
All right? So,
okay, I have to show you what I did as we were talking this morning. So you see my vision board of my home.
yes.
I posted it right in my kitchen on that pantry door because I feel like I need to look at it more often. It's my feeling. It's the feeling of what I want to be in all the time, and the focus, not on the house, but on that feeling.
Yes.
And the end result.
Will you take a picture of that and post it in the Facebook group?
Okay.
Sarah likes that. And here's the thing, when you're looking at that vision board, say yes to it.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yes. And then throw in some
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. I accept this. It's mental ownership. It's mental ownership. And then that will get you out of the, but the rules, but the market, but the industry. All right? Because you don't care.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. All right. Oh, I knew this was going to be a fabulous call. Thank you to all of you. You made it so fabulous. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for the space that you held for other people. I would love for you to go into the Facebook group, type in your takeaways. Somebody asked if they can get a copy of the Feminine and Masculine Traits. Yes, I'll get that to you later on today or tomorrow. We'll get those posted in the group ASAP. And let us all know what you're up to. Let us know what you're bumping up against. I promise it's not anything different from what most people are bumping up against, and they're easily course corrected. Easily course corrected. So my love to you. We will see you in the Facebook group. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Have a marvelous May. Mwah! Much love to you, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.